Oh yeah, baby, Mr. Investor Lot here, and today we're going to be looking at JINKO Solar. So as you can see, JINKO Solar is another one of these juicy stocks that have come on the radar. It's had a recent run up, and if you loved Beam, you may want to look at this stock. So we were looking at Beam the other day, the patented EV ARC 2020, which was the only 100% renewable, transportable, off-grid EV charging option on the market. Juicy little company. And here today, we're going to be looking at JINKO Solar, which is currently the world's largest solar panel manufacturer. So it's a Chinese company, it's headquartered in Shanghai, China. This video is for entertainment only, make sure you do your own research. So what does JINKO Solar actually do? So it's a Chinese energy company, we know that, and it manufactures solar products. So solar panels, silicon wafers, solar cells, solar modules. And why are we interested in this stock? We're interested because this stock has been absolutely booming. So renewable energy as a whole has been in particular booming. EV vehicles, chargers, manufacturers. This has had a run up in 6 months of nearly 500%. This is a serious competitor as it's the world's largest solar panel manufacturer. So it IPO'd in May 2010 in America on the New York Stock Exchange. Since then it's gone sideways, but recently it's just gone ridiculous. So do we think this is a fair price for JKS? So looking here, President-elect Joe Biden has pledged to spend about $2 trillion on combating climate change, with a goal of making an electricity generation carbon neutral by the year 2035. Why has JINKO Solar skyrocketed 46.6% in October alone? So basically, the China solar panel manufacturer rose because it had strong earnings reports released at the end of September. The acceleration in October was also partially due to Joe Biden's lead over Trump in the November elections. One of the biggest reasons for the stock rise was the pledge by China to cap emissions by 2030 and become carbon neutral by 2060. So here there's so many solar panels, as you can see. This is what they do. You can get them laid across the ground, absorb the sunshine, create energy. So at the end of September, JINKO released its financial earnings, and JINKO had stated that their revenue had increased 18.8% to $1.2 billion. So the earnings per share was actually 93 cents, beating analyst estimates by a handy 24 cents. The management also announced that their production targets were up to 30 gigawatts before the end of the year, and their initial target was only 22 gigawatts earlier this year. So even the president, Xi Jinping of China, has pledged the meeting at the UN Assembly to accelerate China's progress to peak emissions before 2030, and they want to achieve zero net carbon emissions by 2060. So I want to know more about JINKO. I want to understand some numbers. I want to see what they're about. So let's look here, about us. So as you can see here, we're on JINKO Solar's website, and they're stating that they have delivered 59.9 gigawatts of energy. They've also stated that they've got 30 plus service centers, they've covered over 100 plus countries, and their annual orders are totaling 8,000 and above. So if we look at these gigawatts here, we want to figure out, what does this actually mean? How much power was actually delivered? So let's convert it. So gigawatts measure the capacity of large power plants or of many plants. So 1 gigawatt, GW, is 1,000 megawatts or 1 billion watts. So in terms of homes, let's see how much homes this can power. The California Independent System Operator, CAISO, runs the state's grid. So here they were describing the power and what it can do. So CAISO says 1 megawatt can meet the instantaneous demand of at least 750 homes, at least. So in this instance, 1,000 megawatts, which is 1 gigawatt, can power more than 750,000 California homes. So 750,000, that's a boatload. So we want to convert it over. 750,000 homes is 1 gigawatt, right? And here, JINKO said they've delivered almost 60 gigawatts. So if we convert that over, 750,000 times 60, it is 45 million homes they have powered already. So here they've got products ranging from, the Tiger Pro, they've got the cheetah, the swan, the tiger. It looks like they love animals a lot. And with the smallest range, they've got a 19% efficiency rate, going all the way up with the Tiger Pro to 21.4% efficiency. They also have a 30-year product warranty on the solar panels. So if we look at this 21.4% efficiency, what does this actually mean? The average efficiency of solar panels is between the numbers of around 15 to 20%. So 21% is actually pretty decent. So which solar panel has the highest efficiency? Let's see, Sunpower right here from this article on the 23rd of 2020 from solarreviews.com. Sunpower manufactures the most efficient panels on the market, apparently, with the Series X, which boasts 22.8% efficiency. So if Sunpower is producing this much efficiency, and then we've got JINKO here providing 21%, it's pretty good, you know, it's effectively a premium efficiency panel. And here it says the premium efficiency panels actually clock in with efficiencies above 20%. The solar panel efficiency can actually get better and better as they get better materials. The next thing we want to look at, we want to talk money, baby. Have they got contracts coming in? JINKO Solar lands supply contract for Europe's largest bifacial solar farm yet. So here, from October 20th, 2020, you can see here, this is their model. JINKO Solar's Swan bifacial panel features a transparent backsheet provided by DuPont. So here you can see JINKO has pens, they've inked it in. They've got a module supply agreement to provide bifacial panels for Europe's largest bifacial solar project to date. This is exciting. So what is a bifacial solar panel? It produces power from light that hits both sides of the panel. So using the dual-sided solar cells, it gives bifacial panels more surface area to absorb more sunlight. So if we click this picture here, you can see how it actually works. So there's some sunlight coming to the front of the panel, some's bouncing off the ground, hitting the back of the panel. It's absorbing from two ways. So JINKO Solar will actually provide 204 megawatts of its Swan bifacial modules. And this is for the Kozani project in Greece. So construction is set to start in November 2020. So if we're looking also at other contracts, here it states the world's largest solar project will also be its cheapest. So this article from Green Tech Media states that EDF and JINKO Solar emerges as the leading bidder in Abu Dhabi's latest solar tender. And this was from earlier this year. This article is from April 2020. And if we can see this picture below, we can see JINKO Solar co-developed this. This is a 1.2 gigawatt Noor Abu Dhabi project in the UAE. So that's probably powering a lot of homes there in that region. So if it has this kind of reach and it's gaining these kinds of contracts and they're in bids for bigger contracts, you know, there's a lot of projection where they can have a good future income. So they're looking to actually complete this within mid-2022. So there's 5 bidders in the running and the lowest bid is coming in at 1.35 US cents per kilowatt. So Abu Dhabi has confirmed that it's a global record solar price as authorities confirmed the winning bid is a 2 gigawatt tender, so it's bigger than the previous one above. It's stated to be the largest single solar energy project in the world. And what they're actually planning to do is they want to negotiate a 30-year power purchase agreement with EDF and JINKO. If the agreement cannot be reached, they're going to try and negotiate with the second best bidder. So usually, in terms of ownership of the project, the winners will keep a 40% stake and receive a 30-year PPA contract including construction, procurement, operations and maintenance duties. So it could be a huge contract where they'll be earning money for up to 30 years. If we take a look at the institutional holdings, this is insane. So we're looking at institutional ownership and shareholders. So JINKO Solar has 182 institutional owners at this very moment in time. So these institutions hold a total of 32.9 million shares, and the largest shareholders include BlackRock, Invesco, Bank of America, Morgan Stanley, you know, we've got Citigroup, we've got Canada Pension Plan, and we've even got Goldman Sachs and Vanguard in there. As you can see here below, we've got the Schroeder Investment Management buying up 21.1 million shares. And just below it with Morgan Stanley, they've got 9.3 million shares. So if we're looking at all of these recent purchases, we're looking, they're all in November. We've got some people exiting, but mostly it's lots of people that are holding their positions and increasing positions. We've even got the Vanguard Group with 1 million plus shares, Bank of America 2 million shares. It's generally really exciting to see, you know, some big names getting involved here, big institutions buying up lots of these shares and they're holding it. So with all this institutional ownership, what does this mean? You know, it looks like they've got a lot of financial backing, a lot of people believe in them, they're investing large amounts of money in, buying a lot of shares. Does this mean they know something that we don't? Are there bigger contracts to be found? You know, what's their future perspective in growth like for JINKO Solar? Are they going to be able to undercut the industry? So let's take a look at the short interests. So as you can see, it's only about 17, the short volume ratio, 17%. So out of the total volume, only 17% of people are trying to short it. But yeah, this indicates that there's a bullish, positive sentiment, according to Fintel. So with not a lot of shorts getting involved, does this mean that it's going to continue to rise? Will they be getting contracts? Will they be getting more money? So it's been a wild ride. This Investor Place article stated it, you know. There's been a 35% drop since the height of in the 90s. And on the 2nd of November 2020, they've stated here, JKS is definitely not expensive. especially after the most recent dip. Its current price to earnings ratio is now under 20 at 14.5 times. Its forward PE stands at 16.4. Both of these are very cheap given the growth potential for solar stocks and JINKO in particular. If we take a look here, we want to see, is JINKO going to be able to provide, if they get these orders in, are they going to be able to provide? And on the 25th of November 2020 here, we can see JINKO has entered an agreement that has locked in nearly 100,000 metric tons of polycrystalline silicon, and both parties can negotiate additional purchases. So why are they buying so much? And what is this material? The company reported on the 6th of November 2020 that JINKO Solar signs long-term purchase agreement with Tongwei for nearly 100,000 metric tons of polycrystalline silicon. So this material, what is it used for? Let's find out. The crystalline silicon is the dominant semiconducting material used in photovoltaic technology for the production of solar cells. These cells are assembled into solar panels as part of the photovoltaic system to generate solar power from sunlight. So they're a very key ingredient in the mix, and they've been ordering tons and tons, 100,000 tons of it. Would they agree to this long-term purchase agreement if they're not going to have orders, if they're not expecting, astronomical growth? So here's one of the biggest factors right here. So we're talking about solar companies asking Biden to reverse Trump's biggest blow to the industry. So a few years back, this article's November 2020, a few years back in January 2018, President Donald Trump slapped tariffs on imported solar panels. So he made it more expensive for them to get solar panels from abroad. So despite protests from the industry, he sent jobs in one of the nation's fastest growing employment engines tumbling for the following 2 years. So now the solar industry is asking President-elect Joe Biden to cut short what was seen as Trump's biggest blow to the solar energy sector. So on Tuesday, Solar Energy Industries Association, bear in mind this is November 2020, on Tuesday, the Solar Energy Industries Association, a trade group representing more than 1,000 companies, said it wants Biden's administration to revoke the 4-year tariffs a year early. So are they planning to get their solar panels from abroad? What are they planning to do? The White House should have the legal authority to end these import fees unilaterally, despite the fact that courts blocked Trump's effort to amend his own tariffs to remove an exemption for bifacial panels. Bifacial panels, you see that keyword there? Bifacial panels, who sell those? What are the agreements? What are the previous contracts? Bifacial panels, we're talking about JINKO, baby. So Trump enacted 30% tariffs. So this tariff represents the amount of tax that you're going to have to be paying when you're importing these kind of products. So if Joe Biden was to remove this kind of tariff and not have this trade war with China, we're going to be seeing a hell of a lot cheaper solar panels coming from China. And who is the world's largest manufacturer of solar panels? JINKO Solar, that Chinese company. So I wanted to see what those dirty numbers look like, baby. So I went to the press release bit. In my search for JINKO's third quarter results are going to be coming soon. But first, let's look what analysts think. So the opinions of stock analysts are interesting because 2 of the analysts are saying buy, buy, buy. 0 are saying that the stock's overweight. 1 is saying hold the stock and 3 are saying sell the stock. Some other interesting news cropping up is that they've got a new COO. So they've got a new chief operating officer at JINKO Solar. And also when we're taking a look at this kind of earnings call presentation here, we can see what are their financial highlights for the year? So in September when this was released, the quarterly shipments were showing 4,469 megawatts. So they're up 31% quarter on quarter and up 32% year on year. Their total revenues were $1.2 billion US. They were down 0.4% quarter on quarter, but they were up 22.2% year on year. Their gross profit was $214.1 million. This was down 8.7% quarter on quarter, but it was up 32.3% year on year. They had a margin of 17.9% compared with 19.5% in Q1 2020 and 16.5% in Q2 2019. So for this company, the best case scenario is, Biden removes this kind of tax tariffs on the solar panel companies, and they're going to be able to import and ship it to so many places in the world. Starting with Europe, they already have that contract in place, but maybe they can start to shift it towards America too. So the question is, will JINKO Solar continue to go up? At $72, is it worth buying it now? Should we wait for it to drop a bit? 52-week high of $90. So what do we think? I think this will be the biggest factor for JINKO Solar, If they remove this tariff Then they open up the ability for, the Solar Energy Industries Association trade group representing 1,000 companies to now be able to sell to America without getting this 30% tax. And who provides the most solar panels in the world? It's JINKO Solar. So it could be a really juicy stock in the future, one to look out for. Make sure you look out for this stock. I'm not saying buy, I'm not saying any financial advice, this is entertainment only, but this is going to be something that I'll be looking at in the near future. That's Mr. Investor Lot, aka Cadillac Baby. Thank you for watching. God bless you all. Please hit that like, hit that subscribe.